move on to the next step. What we're going to do is apply a texture to this henna. Now the texture is already created. Just go into the Adobe Bridge, and I'll make these thumbnails just a little bit smaller here. And the texture is right here. And I'll just double click on this. Now we need to get this texture over to the project image. So I'll select the Move tool and just click on this texture and drag this over to the project. There we go. And I'll just position it like so. So that is a pretty good size texture. It fits nicely over the henna there. And feel free to use this texture on your own projects. Now we must blend this texture with the henna and the metal below it, so it blends in here. So first, what I'm going to do, let's just go ahead and set the blending mode for this. I'm going to come down here to, let's try hard light. Okay. And then I'll come over here to the opacity and just turn that down a touch. Okay, now this doesn't look too great, but the reason I'm doing this is because we're going to decide where we want to set this texture. And then we're going to create a layer mask to delete all the outside texture, so we just have the henna and the texture and nothing else. We don't see that texture anywhere else. So what you can do is select the Move tool, move the texture around your henna, and position it wherever you want. Okay? And you can see this is just going to look awesome because it really looks like it's coming through here, and it really looks like it's on the metal and it's cracking through. Totally gives it a nice rustic look. So after you've positioned that texture exactly where you want it, then what you can do is load the transparency of this layer down here, which contains the henna. And we actually did not name this layer just quite yet, so I'll just put... All right, so hold down the Control key, which is the Command key on the Mac, and click on the henna bevel layer, and then come over here to Select and inverse this selection. And after you have that, you need to click back on the texture layer for the henna. So after you've clicked on that, press the Delete key. And that'll delete all the outside texture, only keeping the texture over the henna. You see that? I'll come up here to Select and Deselect and take a look at that. I'll get a little bit closer here so you can see what's going on, but look at what we've done. So we've achieved the effect that we are looking for. You can do so many things with the project now that we have these basic things going on here. But I also, as a final thing, what I did is I added a highlight on her nose, and I made a new layer. I just selected the paintbrush, set white as the foreground, a large soft brush here, and all I did really is just brought this brush over here and made a line like this, or a stroke with the brush. And then I went through the blending modes until I found a blending mode that I liked where it brought out the highlight in her nose. You know, you could use something like this. That'll work just fine. I'll go ahead and lower the opacity just to make her nose stand out a little bit because it's almost hidden. You can see down here what we would need to do to really polish this off is to click on the texture layer on that layer mask and come in here, and we can touch up around the bottom of her nose here because it almost starts to fade away there. We don't have any depth down there for her nose. I'll go ahead and just fudge this a little bit. Something that looks like that, so her nose stands out a little bit more. What we can also do is add a shadow on this side of her nose, on the right side over here. Something like this. And I'll zoom out here. And we can try a couple blending modes for this, which might not work. I'll probably just go ahead and lower the opacity, filter, blur, and I'm moving kind of quick here because these are only techniques for this project. So if you're working on your own, then you're probably not going to have to go through these steps. But I'm just showing you because I promised you I would show you the whole thing. So this is actually one of the things that I had to do to finish it up. But you can see now that we have that shadow over there, it just gives that nose there a little bit more definition. You see that? There you go. And that's pretty much it, folks. That is the dream skin. Have fun with that and enjoy applying the same effects to your own projects. And we'll see you guys on the next video.